Just after watching this video of the wife of Chris Hani expressing her pain, I just asked myself one thing. Did she actually prophesy what is currently happening in the ANC when she mentioned Kama? So I would like us to talk about MK. Not this one of Bob Zuma, but this one, the original MK. So MK, guys, for those that don't know what MK is, MK was a paramilitary wing of the ANC. Now, what was happening in MK is that MK was actually formed in 21 March in 1960 after the Sharpeville massacre that took place when the South African people were protesting against the pass law in Transvaal. That is where about 250 plus people that were protesting against the pass laws of the National Party were killed and many more were injured. That is when the ANC at that time said, you know what, we are going to respond and we are going to have a military wing that is going to respond to such matters. That's how MK came about. So that means what? MK, when it was formed, MK was actually formed to fight against white supremacy, to fight against the injustices such as the Land Act of 1913 that resulted in the people of color in South Africa getting only 7% of the land, approximately 7%, but it was a very little percent. So the MK was actually an armed response of the ANC. MK is not like the ANC. When they respond, they were responding with violence. And it is actually written in the manifesto of the MK that the MK was formed and it's intended to respond with violence to the government that has refused all other acts of peace by the people back then. So MK was formed like that, and Chris Hani spent 27 plus years in the MK. And when the MK was put down, Chris Hani was really hurt. He was really hurt. And in 2 May 1990, Nelson Mandela met with F.W. de Klerk to discuss putting down of the arms, meaning what? MK was going to be put down. And then in 7 August 1990, that is when MK was put down. And this is what Chris Hani had to say about it. So when the wife of Chris Hani actually mentioned that, was she talking about the return of this MK right now of Ubab Uzuma? Because when she was mentioning Kama, was she talking about what is currently happening to the ANC? The ANC is so afraid of what MK of Ubab Uzuma is doing right now. They are afraid and they are frightened by the fact that the MK of Ubab Uzuma is actually a big threat to it. And if you take a look at something, Umkhonto means spear, and the MK doesn't play. So what we see right now is the prophecy of the wife of Chris Hani that Kama is coming. Umkhonto wesizwe, madoda.